We live in the middle of the age of speed. Modern scientific discoveries and technologies are coming closer and closer to what humanity would not long ago consider science fiction. Only the level of understanding of human consciousness is being left a few steps behind when compared to the new and vast area of knowledge offered by the futuristic sciences. Even if for more than half of a century it became clear that atoms, molecules, cells, organs, human bodies, planets, stars, and galaxies are all made of energy which vibrates with a specific frequency, for the largest majority of people, life goes on within the ordinary limits of the material world.
The Einstein's famous equation connected the energy of a particle with its mass. Any particle, according to Einstein, is nothing but a concentration of the energy continuum, a contraction in time and space of what he called the fundamental field, or the zero field energy. Modern science only came to confirm what the Oriental spiritual traditions discovered thousands of years ago. The very essence of the universe is energy. Thus, its structure is based on vibrations. The vibratory structure of the universe allows us to understand the way in which phenomena, objects, and beings are connected with each other. The fundamental principle ensuring the universal order, the way in which vibrations interact with each other, is the principle of occult resonance.
More and more often we are starting to hear, "You are what you think. You become that which you love. Focus on what you want and not on what you do not want to have in your life." Why do we get such messages now? The answer is not hard to find. The new scientific discoveries finally succeeded to create a crack in the postmodern wall of skepticism and to begin to convince people about a truth long known by spiritual traditions around the world for thousands of years. Our mind and our heart have an extraordinary power. We have at any moment at our disposal this gigantic force, with the only condition to know how it can be wisely awakened and used with common sense and compassion. And here's the scientific explanation. The brain is a very strong electromagnetic emissive organ. It has been proven that each thought represents a spheric vibratory energy that we then emit in all directions of space. Even more amazing, it has been discovered that the heart produces an electromagnetic field even stronger than the mind. Thus, the vibratory energy of our thoughts become amplified when accompanied by corresponding emotions. Such discoveries came to confirm the ancient wisdom expressed through well-known phrases such as putting your heart into something. The power of thinking and emotions were put into evidence by several scientific experiments, but the most significant ones are those performed by Masaru Emoto. The Japanese researcher discovered that water, the most ubiquitous substance on our planet, is a medium very receptive to human states.
Experimentele doctorului Masaru Emoto ilustrează într-un mod fascinant și complex modul în care acționează legea rezonanței oculte asupra realității înconjurătoare. Descoperirile cercetătorului japonez ne revelează unele aspecte enigmatice și profund uluitoare legate de apă, mai precis de capacitatea ei de a reflecta fidel întocmai ca o oglindă tot ceea ce se produce, bun sau rău, în imediata sa apropiere. În viziunea comună, obișnuită, indiferent de calitatea ei, apa poate să pară mereu ca fiind aceeași. Apa e apă, zicem cu toții, sau în orice caz cred majoritatea oamenilor. La un studiu atent, descoperim însă că apa ne revelează anumite diferențe, care apoi ne fac să înțelegem modul în care ea rezonează cu ambianța înconjurătoare. Aceste aspecte pot fi foarte ușor explicate în lumina acestei legi a rezonanței oculte, care ne demonstrează astfel cât se poate de clar faptul că apa poate să fie influențată atât de factorii fizici, cum ar fi impurități sau toxine preluate din atmosferă sau din pământ, cât și de factori subtili, cum ar fi vibrații sonore, stări psihice, ca mânie, bucurie, iubire, ură, compasiune și alte stări mentale.
Descoperirile domnului Emoto evidențiază omniprezența acestui principiu fundamental al rezonanței la toate nivelurile manifestării vieții. Să ne gândim, de pildă, că însuși trupul nostru conține peste 75% apă. Aceasta înseamnă că, întocmai cum apa exterioară cristalizează atât de diferit în funcție de natura câmpurilor psihomentale, gânduri, cuvinte, simboluri și așa mai departe, care sunt proiectate asupra ei, după cum evidențiază experiențele domnului Emoto, la fel și apa din corpul nostru, de la fluidele corporale până la apa intracelulară, de exemplu, va reacționa și ea la fel, explicându-se astfel complexa și extraordinar de subtilă legătură dintre psihe și soma, dintre minte sau psihic și corp, și influența reciprocă dintre acestea.
That which we imagine, sooner or later becomes our reality. This is only one of many messages unveiled by water. According to Dr. Masaru Emoto, each of us has the magic power to change the world. He is convinced that when humanity will be capable to use this force at maximum capacity, the world will transform in a split of a second. Health, environmental regeneration on a planetary scale, global peace, all these will take back their rightful place on the blue planet.
それはやっぱり人々が道に迷っちゃったからじゃないかと思います。例えばこんなふうに問題がいっぱいございます。テロリスト戦争ですね、環境問題、病気、経済の問題とか、あるいは心の教育の問題、いっぱいいっぱい問題があります。
Războaiele, violența, ura, care există constant în anumite zone, sunt factorii care, în opinia noastră, declanșează catastrofe ecologice, declanșează chiar uneori cataclisme și alte elemente sau fenomene naturale stihinice profund destructive. Pe de altă parte, noi suntem ulterior determinați să trăim în ceea ce se cheamă lumea noastră, altfel spus, în gama de frecvențe de vibrație care ne este specifică. De aici apar frecvent între oameni neînțelegeri, confuzii. Putem să menționăm faimosul mit al turnului Babel, care exprimă exact această coborâre a conștiinței. De la o limbă universală, comună, de la o stare în care oamenii se puteau înțelege perfect unii cu alții, s-a ajuns la această separare și diferențiere care face uneori aproape imposibilă comunicarea profundă între oameni, la modul obișnuit.
どうやってこの問題を解決したらいいんでしょう。人々は本当にもう困ってしまいました。どうもこれは道を間違えたらしいなと人々は思い始めました。そういう時はスタートポイントに変えるべきです。それは私たちの存在の源であるエネルギーだと思います。エネルギーとは振動です。振動とは命でもあります。
Vibration is what makes the existence of any object or phenomenon possible. Everything in this universe vibrates, and this vibration indicates the presence of energy. The French mathematician and philosopher René Descartes used to say, referring to himself, cogito ergo sum. But this, of course, is also valid for the entire human race, which is gifted by its creator with the capacity to think. We vibrate. The vital force pulsates inside us. We are alive. We understand that without vibration, life would be impossible. But mere survival in and of itself was never sufficient for us human beings. We've always searched beyond the limits of mere survival, seeking a quality of life, a life where happiness and fulfillment are predominant in as many ways as possible. The first and most important step in this direction is to make a conscious choice. If all things and phenomena in this universe are truly just different forms of vibration, then the very best thing we can do at any moment is simply to choose to be happy.
Materia fizică, energiile subtile vitale, gândurile, sentimentele, inspirațiile sublime, elanul creator sau chiar aspirația intensă către Dumnezeu sunt în esență moduri vibratorii care pun în legătură, sau altfel spus în rezonanță, micro-universul nostru lăuntric cu universul cel mare, cel exterior sau macrocosmosul.
みんな命を持っています。振動は命です。人によって、動物によって、物によってその振動の回数が違います。でもこの世の中に存在するものはエネルギーの結果できたわけですから、全て振動をしています。で、水の結晶というのはその振動のビジュアル化であることが分かってきました。だから僕はもう10年もその結晶写真を見てきてますから、人よりも振動のことについて分かるようになります。 振動とは何かを説明する前に、まずどうやって結晶写真を撮るかをご覧ください。
After being first well shaken in order to be in this way activated, 50 samples of 1 milliliter each are taken from the water. These are frozen up to minus 25 degrees Celsius. The obtained crystals are afterwards studied using an optical microscope, and pictures are taken on a temperature of minus 5 degrees Celsius. Typically, but a few of those 50 samples would reveal the crystalline structure of that water. Pictures are to be taken quickly, else crystals are melting. Water means life. Without water, all these natural wonders we can see around us would not exist. All that lives, all that is beautiful, is born out of water. The splendor of natural colors, the gentle silk-like touch of rain, the clouds filtering the golden sunlight, the magnificent rainbows, and the vast blue oceans. On this planet, water is constantly creating a cyclic, magical spectacle. It is the source medium of life itself, of our existence par excellence, and the mirror of all beauty. But the most important role played by water in sustaining life is that to transport vibrations. And in its turn, the most important role played by vibrations is to create resonances.
The resonance phenomenon is involving always at least two systems, one called the emitting and the other one called the receptor. The transfer of energy or information from the emitting system to the receiving one can happen only if the two systems have a common or a very close by vibration frequency. We then call such systems as resonance systems or systems being in resonance. The amplitude of the vibrations induced into the receiving system, carrying both energies and information, can be maximum only when those frequencies are equal, even tending to infinite if the parameters that activate the resonance are kept constant.
As we could see, the resonance phenomenon happens only in the presence of an emitter and a receptor. Let's suppose we want to give somebody a phone call in order to communicate something. If the person does not pick up the phone, we cannot communicate anything. Information cannot be transmitted in the absence of a receiver.
În funcție de forma și structura sa internă, fiecare obiect sau sistem fizic prezintă una sau mai multe frecvențe naturale specifice de vibrație, cu care el oscilează în mod natural atunci când este scos din starea de echilibru. Aceste frecvențe pot fi numite frecvențe proprii. De regulă se vorbește despre o singură frecvență de rezonanță a unui sistem, denumită uzual ca frecvența proprie a acestuia.
次は 440Hz と 442Hz です。同じ音に聞こえるはずです。これが440、これが442。同じ音なのに同じ音に聞こえるのにほとんど共鳴しません。ここにおいて純粋性が必要なわけです。全く同じ周波数でなければ本当に完璧に共鳴してエネルギー化しないわけです。
The importance of the resonance phenomenon becomes even larger considering that the human being represents a resonance system permanently integrated in the environment due to complex resonant phenomena. Regarding the presence of the resonant phenomena in the man's life, a very simple example can be found in the Holy Bible, in the famous story of the talents. For to everyone who has will be given, and he will have more. But for him who has not, even what he has will be taken away.
Даже если до сих пор мы никогда не думали о резонансе и о том, как резонанс глубоко влияет на всю нашу жизнь, мы все, без исключения, подвергаемся его воздействию. Все существующее имеет определенную энергетическую реальность, определенную частоту вибраций и, соответственно, определенный диапазон. Феномены резонанса происходят аналогично тому, как функционирует радио или телевизор, которые, как мы знаем, могут резонировать в определенных диапазонах частот. Когда такого рода приборы настроены на определенную волну, они получают энергию и информацию от радиостанции или телевизионной башни, которая излучает на этой волне. Современная наука раскрыла, что подобным образом, но более сложно, все существа и даже предметы излучают в окружающую среду энергетические поля и в то же время получают энергию от специфических источников из окружающей среды, как близлежащей, так и отдаленной. Все наши органы, вся система клеток и разные процессы, происходящие в теле, создают электромагнитные поля в виде волн, которые излучаются и распространяются в пространстве, и которые, согласно законам физики, никогда не затухают. С другой стороны, мы постоянно настроены на энергетические поля Вселенной и питаемся ее энергией, даже когда мы этого не знаем. Аналогично радиоприборам, мы являемся настоящими системами приема-передачи, которые способны настраивать свою частоту по желанию и сознанию. Среда распространения этих электромагнитных и даже биологических полей – это фундаментальное квантовое поле, соединяющее посредством резонанса все частные аспекты Вселенной на уровне ее субстрата.
Тоころが変なおじさんが出てきましたが、人間はすごい能力を持っています。あーっとやるとこうやって振動を始めます。今度は 442Hz ですね。これもまたふらーっとやります。440Hz と 442Hz 同士では共鳴しないのに、人間は音の違いをすぐに聞き分けてその音を出して共鳴することができるんです。440Hz おー
Man has within his being an entire universe, permanently filled with vibratory frequencies which overlap, building a symphony on a cosmic scale. When a musician uses a diapason for tuning, him and the instrument will produce a sound having a unique frequency. When one part utters a certain frequency and the other part answers in kind, they both enter into resonance. A common expression of the law of occult resonance we can find in an ancient word of wisdom. Like will to like. Birds of a feather flock together. Those who are similar will tend to gather.
Relațiile interumane pot fi și ele modelate analogic într-o anumită măsură pe baza legii rezonanței de frecvență și a sincronizării de fază ce sunt specifice și rezonatorilor fizici. De exemplu, între două persoane ce prezintă frecvențe predominante de vibrații apropiate, se produce un transfer de energie prin rezonanță, similar modului în care interacționează două sisteme fizice de același fel. De exemplu, două pendule, două diapazoane, două circuite electrice, dacă acestea sunt puse în contact specific, mecanic, acustic, electric, între ele. Această interacțiune prin rezonanță poate fi percepută ca fiind plăcută sau neplăcută, constructivă sau destructivă, atrăgătoare sau respingătoare, în funcție de armonia de fază dintre vibrațiile celor două ființe. Situația este similară cu cazul la două pendule, ce au frecvențe proprii identice, dar oscilează fie în armonie de fază, fie în antifază sau în quadratură. Când sunt cuplate mecanic unul cu altul, pendulele se vor susține reciproc sau, din contră, se vor neutraliza când sunt în antifază sau se vor perturba reciproc înainte de a ajunge la o sincronizare în cazul quadraturii. În cazul ființelor umane care se află în rezonanță și armonie, ele ajung să se înțeleagă foarte bine și chiar să se susțină reciproc prin amplificarea vibrațiilor comune și în armonie de fază, ceea ce le permite să facă ceva util împreună, cu efecte perceptibile și în lumea exterioară. Pe de altă parte, cunoaștem nenumărate cazuri când oamenii ce au în mod evident o frecvență identică de rezonanță, deoarece doresc să comunice, totuși se contrazic la nesfârșit. De ce? Modul de integrare a nivelurilor respective în ființa lor face ca ei să se comporte similar pendulelor ce oscilează în quadratură sau în antifază.
People manifesting similar frequencies naturally feel attracted to each other, the result being a state of friendship. Some people remain indifferent to each other, no matter how close they are physically. When the vibratory frequencies are fundamentally incompatible, resonance is simply impossible. In fact, we find it difficult, if not impossible, to accept something which is fundamentally different from us.
音合わせ、波長合わせは人間すごく上手なんですよ。機械ではできないことを人間は一瞬にして聞いて、その音の違いを聞き分けて、その音を出せるというすごい特技を持っているわけです。
A form of phase resonance can also manifest when the vibrating frequencies of the two systems are not identical. One such example is when one frequency is the double of the other one. Playing the A note on a piano, namely 440 Hz, in the same time with the same note having now only 220 Hz, would be perceived as a harmonious and pleasant sound. If we answer the tuning sound of a diapason with another sound being 1 octave lower, the result will as well be pleasant to our hearing. When one frequency is 2 times larger than the other, or 4 times larger, or 8 times larger, what we perceive is still harmonious. In fact, this connection between different frequencies can be extended ab infinitum. No matter how large is the difference between two frequencies, if their proportion is a number which can be expressed as a power of 2, the same phase harmony will be produced. Here, we can draw a simple conclusion. To each vibration frequency, we can find, on another level, a corresponding one.
聞こえる音と聞こえない音とがありますが、聞こえる音とは 15Hz から 20,000Hz までの音です。それ以外の音は神様は人間は聞こえないようにしてくれました。夜眠れなくなるからですね。神様は人間に適当な能力、ちょうどいい能力を与えてくれました。
There are sounds we can hear and sounds we cannot hear, like for example ultrasounds. The same is valid for the sense of sight. Human eye can perceive electromagnetic waves having wavelengths between 380 and 780 nanometers. In other words, we cannot see a radiation situated outside of this range of wavelengths. And a similar phenomenon happens with all the other senses. What we, human beings, can perceive using our sense organs is but a small part of the world we inhabit. But many times we intuit the existence of a consciousness vibrating with a frequency much larger than those we can naturally perceive. We know already that by doubling a frequency, we in fact obtain the same sound, only belonging to the next octave. If we continue doubling, the sound becomes higher and higher until we cannot hear it any longer, becoming an ultrasound. But the original vibration is certainly there. The intuition process can be imagined as dividing that specific frequency. We cut it in half, then the result we once more cut it in half, and so on until we obtain a value which for us translates as perceivable. The process is in fact, to a certain extent, similar to the one used for a radio or a TV broadcasting. The vibrations produced by a song are first modulated with the help of a carrier, a wave usually having a much larger wavelength, and only after they are put on air. The carrier is the radio frequency we need to know in order to tune our radio, like for example 101.3 MHz. In order to listen that song on the radio, the device has to extract the specific vibrations of that song from the modulating wave. Using the mechanism described here, we can define a consciousness level by the specific range of frequencies accessible to a human being directly or extracted using intuition. Based on such a model, we can draw the portraits of gods, the demiurges of the entire creation.